everybody's probably heard of artificial intelligence, or AI to give it its abbreviation now. But there seems to be a lot of misunderstanding about what AI actually is. And so, on this episode and the next couple of episodes, we're going to be talking a lot more and exploring a bit more about AI and how it's being used and what the possibilities are. Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm also here. I'm called Rob too. Yeah.
And welcome to the Geek Show. We're talking AI today, but before that, how are you today, Rob?
All good. That's all you're getting.
Notice a different lighting setup for me. I took your advice, got some of my other lights out, and some of them needed a lot more charging than others. But yeah, I think I'm
Yeah.
looking a bit more natural today. I don't have that
Yeah.
stupid mid light overhead.
Still got the powerful light over there,
Yeah,
but I need to invest in a stronger light to go lower. But
yeah.
yeah. So it's still got shiny face going on, but not quite as bad.
It's a lot better, and at least with me, because I like my hats. People have probably noticed I always wear a cap. I feel naked without a cap, and yeah, it creates this horrible shadow down my face when I've got a light overhead.
Anyhow,
Kind
what we're
of,
talking about
yeah,
today, because
yes, we're
you're just
talking
going to
about
go down a rabbit hole of nonsense, and I'm
yeah,
just going to put a stop to it there.
yeah, we're talking about AI or what people think AI is, and I'm not going to talk about that part of it. That's coming in a future episode. But at the moment, what we understand as AI, they're called language models, and you have small and large language models. But what it actually is an aggressive form of machine learning, and it comes from people inputting data into a language model, and then that language model spewing out results. Now, you'll have heard of all of this kind of crawling traffic and stuff like that, and reading websites in their entirety, and then extrapolating all the information from that and coming out with a result based on a prompt that someone has given to something like ChatGPT or DeepSeek or one of these other existing AI.
Perplexity, Cloud,
Yeah,
Gemini.
exactly.
There's probably others too. I can't think off
Yeah,
the top of my
what
head.
there's what's Microsoft's one that's on Windows?
Copilot.
Copilot, that's it. Yeah. So there's loads of them around, and they all have their strengths and their weaknesses, I suppose. But um, they all have serious limitations because they're all based on prompts that you feed it, and they're all based on information that exists, but they can't learn for themselves. So it's not a true AI as I understand it, and as many other people who are more au fait with the term artificial intelligence understand it. But it has changed a lot of how we are doing things in the world, especially in the workplace. There are other aspects
I
like
wouldn't say
in art and
especially in the
entertainment.
workplace.
Well,
I'd
I mean,
say especially in the interpersonal space.
yeah, okay, in the interpersonal space, but a lot of kind of the donkey work,
Yeah,
repetitive tasks, stuff like that, they're all being automated with AI now.
I
Um,
think the more troubling thing about this side
yeah,
of AI is the way that people are interacting with it. They're treating it like a friend, and
yes,
they're treating it like a confidant. They're treating it like a therapist.
yes,
And there was a story not so long ago about somebody who committed suicide because the ChatGPT or whatever model it was, I don't know,
mm,
was spouting suicidal ideation at it, and the person was a very
vulnerable,
fragile mindset, and
yeah,
they're off
vulnerable person,
themselves.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not quite where I was going to go with it, but we will go with it
um,
because it is one of those things that actually is relevant.
that's how
These
people are
things,
using it. It's how I
yeah,
mean, how businesses are using it is one thing in separately. But on a
yeah.
personal level, like that's what people are using it for.
Well, I
People are
mean,
also using it as sort of a substitute for Google or
yes,
whatever search engine you're going to find, and a lot of companies have done that just to sort of
Mm,
like dangle between the two lines. When you search for something on whatever browser you might use, I use Brave
yeah.
because it doesn't sell your information, or at least it didn't. And if it has, I was unaware. But on Brave and I think Firefox are becoming the first AI powered browser, which has caused a lot of consternation.
They've decided to roll that back. So what they have now in Firefox, they actually have a toggle so you can turn AI on and off. So you can tell
Yeah,
all AI
but
functions off if you want to keep using
it's
Firefox.
it's fine as like Opera's got it, Chrome's
Yeah,
got it, Brave's got it, Firefox has got it,
yeah,
and it's a search function which will have a chatbot basically.
yeah.
Um, but it's weird the term chatbot, isn't it? Because when it was customer service, it was fine,
Hmm.
but it was the same thing.
See, this is the thing that where I get really confused because they're automating using AI the whole idea of customer services, but one of the things that you want to do when you contact customer services is to speak to a person,
Hmm.
and now it's so much more difficult to understand if you are talking to an actual person or an AI
Oh no, it's
or
easy to
like
understand. It's easy to get how when it's an AI and when it's not.
for somebody who is not as au fait with it as we are, for example.
No,
So
it's diction. When I say
um,
addiction, I just when you hear somebody speak and you think that doesn't sound right.
yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about like those typing chatbots where you basically type it in,
Oh
for
yeah,
example.
yeah. The reason I said why it doesn't sound right is because there's like sort of jumping back and forth between
Yeah,
interpersonal and sort of business. There
yeah,
is cases of people being in interviews with AI,
yeah.
um, and yeah, it's stuff like this which is the murky side of it. But
I mean,
it's not all murky. It's not all
yeah,
negative, and it's not all positive. It's morally and
ethically, a gray
ethically
area.
grey. But the one thing that isn't great is the amount of water and resources it takes to actually run this stuff.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, we are gonna talk about that because that's like a huge thing. Um, but one of the things that I mean, you mentioned interviews. That's become one of the things that I didn't expect was the use of AI in just looking for work, for example, not only in like filtering through all of your applications, but also applying for a job in the first place.
For the filtering through your jobs, there's
Mm,
a system called ATS,
yeah,
automated tracking system, which is a system which recruiters or employers or whoever might be involved in that part of the process put your CV or application through a system, and it'll go through your application looking for certain key tracking points. And there's all sorts of things. If it's not being updated in a certain amount of time, the ATS will bin it. If
yeah,
it's not from the same place that it's advertised as a job, the ATS will bin it. If you don't have sort of things that the job description describes as essential, the even though there's no such thing as a perfect applicant, and you can get somebody who applies for a job who might not be great and might not have the experience, but you put them in the job on day one and they're just absolutely fine, brilliant. But ATS doesn't have that sort of nuance. It just bins
yeah,
it. It's kind of like an absolute sensation there, an absolute sort of level of analysis,
yeah,
and that's been sort of I don't want to call recruiters lazy because I know how overworked they are, but at the same
yeah,
time, recruiters are lazy because they're using this and it's all about sort of profit. But I'm not getting into that because
yeah,
it's one of my bugbears that I could basically turn this into 40, 50, 60 hours of me
yeah.
just ranting about how much I
Yes.
hate recruiters. So I'll draw a line there.
Yeah, I mean, just to give it some figures, I think about 24% of companies now use AI when it comes to hiring and
No, it's
well,
not way
not
more than
just
that.
hiring. Is it more or less than that?
It's way more than that.
Way more than that now. Okay, these must
You
be old
can
stats.
identify certain job descriptions that are being written by AI. You can tell it's
Oh yeah,
overuse of emojis, it's overuse of bullet points. It's trying to be friendly and jovial about it. There's
yeah,
tells,
yeah.
such big tells. but it's way, way more than 24.
Yeah. Okay. This must be an old statistic that I found then. But from there, I mean, actually, in the actual workplace itself, one of the things that always that I've actually been fascinated by is the use of AI in things like supply chain, logistics, stuff like that. And that's always confused me because I do understand like a lot of supply chain and logistics is automated, but now they're actually having these predictive models that come out that are supposed to be reasonably accurate in predicting how much of certain things are going to get used at certain times. I thought that was something that was already there, you know, because I thought that was
Yeah,
something you'd work out from a database. It's like information you could extrapolate from a database, but now they're using AI models to predict
it
that.
is, and I don't think AI is very effective at it because the market is prone to
Yeah,
shifts and changes and volatility.
yeah,
And say, for example, I'm not taking a political stance on this. Say, for example, you put all your business model and your strategy and your leaning into um, a certain thing, a
yeah.
certain strategy, certain sort of production level or method, and then Mister Tiny Hands decides that he's going to put a tariff on your country,
Yeah.
and then that model's
And
useless. Your
and this
company's
is
screwed because you've committed to this unfeeling analytical thing, which isn't really based on real world data, facts, or information. So
and
it's
thing is what you just said is
problematic.
exactly what's happened to so many companies. They used AI, they use large language models to predict trends that of buying and selling particular things, and they overstocked. I mean, if you look at, I mean, hell, just look at RAM and GPUs and processors.
We will
The
get to that later, but
we
yeah.
will get to that later, but the price spike for those, which and then you look at Sony. Sony was saying not too long ago that they were working on a new project, which everyone thought was going to be the PlayStation 6. But
Mm.
now the rumor is that they won't be able to make the PlayStation 6 because they can't afford to.
Yeah, it's kind of a beautiful sense of irony, isn't it? I know we're jumping about a bit, but
Yeah,
one of the most recent episodes we did was about it's okay to not be a gamer, and the
yeah,
idea that a lot of people, I never brought it up, but it is a thing that's prevalent. Uh, PlayStation 5 era was released during COVID, and people think,
yeah,
yeah, but we've not had any games yet. We don't want the next console.
exactly.
We've barely had this one. And then
Exactly.
fate has conspired in a beautiful way to, put the brakes on that.
Yeah. But yeah, just looking at, AI is being used in so many different things when it comes to the workplace, and I'm just looking at kind of factory, office, logistics, that sort of thing. Not looking at like engineering and medicine because it's very specialized in those fields. And some of the stuff that they're using AI for in medicine, for example, is really cutting edge stuff, which I don't think I have the experience or the knowledge to talk about properly.
Well, a medical thing,
Mm,
I have seen the news reports on it, and it's
yeah,
basically doing things like it can look at scans,
yeah,
hundreds of thousands of scans of MRI, whatever it might be, to look for sort of cancer.
yeah,
And it can identify that on a much, 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 much more granular level
yeah,
than a doctor can,
yeah,
because we're reliant on these two fellas, and these
yeah,
two fellas aren't 100% accurate 100% of the time.
yeah. And they get tired over time. After you've looked at so many MRI scans, your eyes start drooping, and start seeing double.
And whereas AI can analyze that sort of stuff with a cold hard
Yeah,
um, ambivalence.
yeah. And for things like that, and for engineering, and even something like structural engineering, for example, AI is that it has a positive effect because you know what it's being used for. It is purely seen as a tool to do a job. It's not seen as something that you talk to. It's not a human, it's a tool. But when it comes to things like in the workplace, and they're using AI for KPIs, for example, key performance indicators in the workplace. I'm like, well, hang on, how does that work? Yes, okay, you have this objective thing where you are measuring someone's performance. I mean, it's all about performance management, but they're using AI now to tell people whether they're doing well or not. But as far as I understood it, if you were a manager in a workplace, then you're supposed to be leading the team, not leaving it to a machine to tell them what to do.
That's a whole separate issue, isn't it?
Exactly.
Of
You
bad
know,
managers making things easier for themselves rather than actually engaging. Because
exactly.
the whole classic thing is the classic thing is AI. No, sorry, management. Sorry, a good manager just basically gets out of the way and gives people the capabilities to do the job to the best of their ability.
Yeah. I mean, it was a thing that my old boss used to tell me, and I took it on board. And when I was managing people back in the day as well, my job is to make sure you can do your job. That was the long and short of it.
Hmm.
And I think most good managers have that or a similar mentality.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, it AI is a very weird thing, and I think in the workplace we're only just seeing the start of how it's changing the workplace.
it's like,
And
but let's just pause on the thought
yeah,
because change the workplace is a very loaded phrase when it comes to AI. Because
good and bad.
at the beginning of this, it is a bubble and it will pop.
Yes.
But at the beginning of this bubble, and there was this fear of, oh lordy loo, all our jobs are gonna go. AI is gonna take them all. Bill Gates even said it. Bill Gates said
Yeah.
all loads and loads of industries are going to be destroyed because AI is going to take the jobs, and we're going to have to learn how to live in a post-work world.
Yep.
Bit ambitious.
Yes.
As far as what AI is capable of, because as far as the learning language model, it's pretty much peaking. When I
Yeah.
say pretty much peaking, unless you're paying for sort of bespoke stuff, it doesn't even know what year it is.
Oh yeah. I mean, I saw a video earlier today. Actually, it was just a short form video that someone had done, and I can't remember whether it was Apple's AI or Google's AI he was talking to, and he says, um, "I want to go to the car wash." Now, the assumption is he's taking his car to the car wash. You or I would understand that. So the AI, so he says, "Should I walk or should I take my car?" The AI tells him to take to walk to the car wash because it's only 100 meters away. You could have a nice walk,
Hmm.
but but I need to wash my car. You can go to the car wash by walking and bring the stuff back and wash your car. Like
Because it has no sort of understanding of reality. On a
exactly.
more sort of like a personal basis,
Mm,
I've used AI to research things that are very, very data heavy.
yeah,
And I said, I want to compare these two cameras. Um, and it says, oh, I don't know what that camera is. It doesn't exist. It might
yeah,
get released in the year 2025. And this was like last year. And I thought, hang on, it's been released. It's been out for 2 months. What are you talking about?
yeah.
He goes, oh, sorry, my bad. My information isn't up to date.
And there's a key thing. My
Doesn't know what
information
day it
is up
is.
to date.
Doesn't know what year it is. Its information isn't up to date unless you tell it off. It's not very clever. I mean, as
Well,
far as artificial intelligence, it's kind of got the intelligence of like a really, really book nerdy sort of 5 year old.
because it's not artificial intelligence. This is the thing, and I
It's a
think
5 year old who can read really, really well, but it's still a 5 year old and doesn't know what colours are.
I wouldn't even call it a 5-year old.
Well,
It's
you
not
know, maybe
artificial.
not colours.
Yeah,
5 year olds know what colours are, but I'm sort of
yeah.
using an example of it.
I'd say 2-year-old.
It's very, very intelligent at reading, but
Yeah,
very, very stupid at actually presenting that stuff.
yeah. I'd say 2-year-old rather than 5-year-old. Conversations with a 2-year-old resemble conversations with an AI, which is one of the reasons why the rise of AI chatbots has companions or friends or even therapists has always confused me. But people are using them like that. I mean, there's so many services out there
The
now. What?
services which you get on sort of, I don't know, where it's advertising AI girlfriends and boyfriends
Yeah, exactly.
on the App Store or the Apple thing, whatever it's called.
Do you remember years ago? This has always made me laugh since I found out about these AI girlfriend and boyfriend things. Years ago, there was that story we did of it was around the time of the Nintendo DS, and we did a story about how people in Japan, there were certain guys in Japan who were playing this dating sim in Japan, and one of them got married to his girlfriend in the game, and everyone was ridiculing this guy, and now there are so many more people who are exactly like him with these AI girlfriend and boyfriend things.
Hmm.
You know, it's all. I always find it ironic that that's how things are going. But yeah, where was I?
Yeah, but there's like there's different like takes on this. I mean, there's you might watch or see this video on your feed and think, oh, they've used AI. Yucky.
Hmm,
I don't use AI. I've never used
yeah,
AI. I'm never going to use AI.
yeah,
One, you have. You
yeah.
just don't know it
Yeah.
because it's integrated into all sorts. On a basic level of just working the internet, coding is a big part where
Oh yeah. I mean,
basically AI has become a huge integral part. But looking deeper, it's that sort of thing where they're sort of overcompensating with things, putting AI in way too much. And that's where the
well,
bubble
I
is.
mean,
They're over investing in an industry which isn't really providing the returns. So
yeah,
this current iteration of AI is huge.
yeah.
It's
But I mean, when it
problematic.
comes to
It's
coding,
insane. But when that
when it comes
pops,
to coding,
it'll no. It's related. When
yeah,
that pops, the industry won't be quite as insane. It'll basically be like, I don't know, 3D printing or something. It's just
3D
another
printing and
thing.
3D glasses, yeah.
It's just
But I
another
mean,
thing that's just normalized, and it's not like this big, massive industry. It's just another thing. And coding
yeah.
is one of those parts that will lead that charge. It'll just be, oh, it's just they're using coding to plug in some gaps in this code. They're using AI to plug in some gaps in this code, I should say.
Well, I mean, they use AI for to basically find bugs and stuff like that already. But coding is programming is one of those areas where you kind of have a lens focused heavily on how AI is negatively affecting the workplace, because a lot of looking for bugs, a lot of QA and stuff like that when it comes to any kind of software, and I'm including video games and stuff like that. We will talk more about video games in a future episode. Um, but a lot of the donkey work, let's say, the repetitive stuff, is basically offloaded to AI. But that in turn has led to the loss of jobs of thousands upon thousands of programmers in different companies, because they think AI is doing the job. We don't need these people anymore.
But the
And
thing
that
is,
is also happening in like offices and places like that as well.
the one problem which I think a lot of people are missing is when you work with AI,
Hmm.
it's not quicker, it's not easier
No.
because you have to basically double, triple, quadruple, whatever's beyond quadruple. I don't know the term. Check AI because it will lie, it will exaggerate, it will make mistakes, it will forget the date, it will
Hmm.
make little stupid errors, and it will forget almost instantly. Like a few weeks, it'll be great, and then it'll start making mistakes and says, "Hang on, I thought you were supposed to do this." It's oh my bad, sorry, I forgot. Let's
Yeah.
let's re loop round and redo that again. So
Well,
you
this is
can
where
kind of can. It's basically like you're driving with a drunk driving 2 year old who's really good at reading.
I think this is where
You kind of got to
um
just guide its hand back on the wheel so it's going
yeah,
straight along the road.
this is where maybe it's a semantic thing, but I think this is where labels play a big part in understanding, because we call it AI. As I said earlier in this episode, it's not AI, it's aggressive machine learning. It's a large language model. That's all it is.
It's
It's
data
not,
scraping.
yeah, it's data scraping and aggressive machine learning. And if it had been labeled as machine learning, I don't think it would have been adopted as much as it has been. But because people like Sam Altman, is it, from ChatGPT, and people like that labeled it as AI, everyone immediately jumped on the bandwagon going, oh, it's the future, when it's not.
It's
There
already
are a lot,
basically like hitting that glass ceiling.
yeah, there are a lot of hang-ups with what we currently have. And we've touched on some of them in this episode, whether it's interpersonal, in the workplace, or whatever.
And also before that, they
Yeah.
are due to be sued the shit out of.
Well, I mean, I think
With all those people,
ChatGPT,
with all of those people who are using it as basically as a therapist and a friend,
yeah,
and all of the things that are coming from that, like that one
yeah,
example of the suicide, for example,
yeah.
like lots of lawsuits are
Well,
coming for companies like OpenAI.
I will be honest. I will be very surprised if that is the only example of that to date.
Oh, it's way not. It's so not.
Exactly. It's just there are probably a lot of unreported examples that are like that, of people who have suffered or actually lost their lives because of AI, because they put their faith in what it was spewing out. And this is one of the reasons why I think the labeling of it is to the detriment of what is already, what is already there. Because machine learning has always been there. It's been there for like 20, 30 years. I mean, if you look at a program like Microsoft Excel, right? Microsoft Microsoft Excel does calculations based on, fields of data. It can do calculations based on that. That's machine learning. That's an
Hmm.
example, a very, very basic example of machine learning. But if you're a software engineer, you probably have much more accurate, much more cutting edge examples of machine learning. But what we have is this public facing thing that they've labeled as artificial intelligence, and everyone's gone mad thinking the world's going to end, when it's not. It's not going to end, because these things aren't going to take over the world. And yes, I know I've heard about the Church of Malta.
Just on that,
Yeah,
have you seen how stupid robots are?
yeah,
They can't even walk.
I know.
Of course, there's stuff that Boston Dynamics is doing, but that's not.
And the funniest robot video was the one that I saw from China, where the robot is mimicking the guy's movements, and the guy is punching and kicking, and the robot kicks as well and side kicks the guy in the balls.
Yeah, it's kind of like that video, which is never going to get old, of the racist riots, where somebody tries to punch a police guard, he fails,
Yeah.
and then they throw bricks, and then one gets thrown at his nuts.
Yeah.
It's and his friends, and then one gets thrown at his head, and one gets thrown at his nuts. Two bricks. It's like, oh
Yeah.
well, that is just beautiful, honestly. Circle of
Yeah, I
life.
remember that one. But
It's the
this
circle
this
of nut punches.
this is the thing. I mean, aggressive machine learning it's not the future. And people saying, "Oh, they've opened Pandora's box." No, they've basically like just lifted the lid a little bit, but a tiny bit. We're a long way off seeing, robots
It's
taking
not.
over the
It's
world,
not.
or
It's not
Skynet, or
even.
anything like
It's not
that.
even like. It's not even looking at the lid. It's like drawing a picture of the lid, and it's looking at the picture and the piece of paper and thinking, that's a good lid
I'd
because
like to
it's.
open that someday.
I like to make that one day and actually open it, but no, it's okay because AI currently
Yeah,
is the this AI that people seem to be terrified of is just too stupid.
it is. It is
It's
so
just too
stupid.
stupid.
It's so
But the
stupid.
problem is, it's so stupid that it's breaking a lot of industries. For
But
example,
that,
one we
and
talked
this
about
is,
earlier, like the
yeah,
PC components, it's been so heavily leaned into that sort of the demands on PCs. It's like graphics cards, RAM, processors, I assume, everything, every PC
yeah.
component is okay. Let's just up the price by about a couple of 100%. Like
I mean,
I got 32 gig of RAM. I
yeah,
paid 30, no, hang on, 50 quid for it
yeah,
about a year and a half ago. Now it's over 200 quid.
yeah. And mine's worth more because mine's faster RAM, but I paid more for it. When I bought it, I think I paid 65 for mine, and it's worth about 300 now. Like,
Yeah,
how? I mean, my PC is worth 3 times more than what I paid for it, and that just doesn't make sense to me.
yeah. It's one of those things that why this can't last.
Yeah. I
It's
mean, there was that story recently of OpenAI lost 300 billion in value, and you're just like,
It keeps on doing
how?
it year on year. Every
Yeah,
year, it's losing stupid amounts.
yeah. I mean,
And
and the
in
power.
America, this is
Yeah,
terrifying statistic. I
yeah.
believe that they're investing more in the AI economy than they are in the non-AI economy.
There's a reason for that, and it has to do with Bitcoin, which I am going to mention in this episode because
But
it
anyway, the
is
point is,
important.
the short point is, it can't maintain that sort of investment. It's
Well,
going to
it can't because
implode.
the power that's required to run these large language models and the amount of water and the amount of electricity that they need it is an
Yeah,
environmental disaster waiting to
there
happen.
was stories of places that had these data centers where it was basically glowing in the night.
Yeah,
You could see it from like miles away, just glowing blue or whatever color the
yeah. And the
buildings
thing is,
glow in the
it,
night,
it's it's
and
that it's this
that is bad.
yeah, it's this ridiculous power consumption that's required by these large language models and the data centers that are being built pretty much everywhere, um, that are going to cause an environmental disaster, not like an oil spill or something like that, but from the amount of electricity that they're consuming, which means more power stations have to be built, which means more pollution, unless you're building nuclear power stations, and if that breaks, then you got nuclear fallout. But if it's coal fired or oil fired or something like that, because they're not going to use wind farms.
No, because it's too stupid for that. Wind or solar.
Exactly.
What's the other one? There's one where they use sort of tidal power, isn't there?
Oh, hydroelectric.
Yeah, not going to use anything logical like that.
No, they're not. And the thing is, they wouldn't supply enough anyway. You'd need like an entire like town of wind farms in order to run one of these data centers.
Never
Exactly.
say never, Rob. Given how cavalier the political class is, never
Well,
say
this is the
never.
thing. They're so heavily invested in what AI is doing for the workplace that they don't see the job losses. I mean, I read a story recently about how AI is being used just for normal office administration now, and that's leading to people losing their jobs just at the basic level of office work because they no longer need people like office juniors and things like that to do photocopying and stuff like that because it's all driven by AI. And
Hmm.
you're like, well, that's insane.
Yeah, but it can't be maintained.
No, it can't. Um, Especially now, especially when we are in a cost of living crisis, when everybody is needing to work or struggling to make ends
Yeah,
meet.
and the optics of companies cutting costs
Yeah,
and cutting employees
yep.
to use AI, it's the sort of thing which is like a stink that you won't be able to get rid of.
No, and that's the thing, that's one of the major downsides of this aggressive machine learning and the policies that have been enacted to keep it moving in a direction, but I wouldn't say forward.
It's not always bad,
No, it's not.
but it's
Like I
mostly
said,
bad.
when it comes to medicine, engineering, things like that, it's it's had a positive effect because I mean you're not gonna fire a doctor because AI is able to examine thousands upon thousands of MRI scans. You're not going to fire an engineer because AI can basically do these calculations faster than an engineer.
Doesn't mean they're right.
Doesn't mean they're right, but you need the engineer who has the experience and the knowledge to check these things.
Yeah.
So in those fields, it can have a positive effect, but in all other fields, it just seems like it's not necessary.
No, not really.
You know, but it's being adopted because companies want to make money, they want to make profit, and that's the long and short of it.
Yeah, the companies which don't ever respect people, don't
Yeah.
ever treat people as employees, the sort of companies that treat like employees like cattle, they
Uh,
they seem to be the ones that are using it more than anybody else.
I'm guessing one of those companies begins with a capital A.
Yeah, it's a letter in the alphabet. I don't know which one.
Yeah, loads of companies start with letters in the alphabet, but one of those
Yeah, but
companies
that was a joke using that phrase, which apparently went way over your head.
it did. I mean, I am shorter than you.
Yeah, because it's what company is called Alphabet.
I know.
There we go.
I know. I got that part.
That's the only part of it, you idiot. See why we need AI,
You can't
Explain
replace me
jokes.
with AI. You can't replace
Explain
me with
jokes
AI.
to him. Explain jokes to this idiot. And there we
You
go.
cannot replace me with AI. I refuse.
You'd have better jokes.
Okay, on that note, I think we should end it. I'm not going to put any ideas in his head because I might just get replaced.
Yeah. So, what are we up to in the next run of episodes?
So, next episode, we're gonna continue with the look at AI, but we're looking more at the creative side of things. So that's going to
This
be
is
interesting because,
this is the stuff
yeah,
where people use the term AI slop.
yeah,
So I guess we'll be digging into that
oh
very
yeah, we're going to be digging into
closely.
that because there's a lot of areas of that, and I thought we can't do it all in one episode. Like we can't talk about AI in as a total in one episode. So that's going to be focused on that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Very
yeah,
dense.
it's a dense and not very nice thing as well that's been going on. And that's one of and the thing is, it's one of those areas where a lot of data scraping has been going on.
But we won't get into it. Click like
Yeah.
and subscribe and tell us in the comments how we're wrong.
Or how we're right. I mean, we might be right
No,
about
it's not what
something.
people use the comment section for, Rob. Don't be stupid and naive. It's always starting arguments that become incredibly racist and telling the people who did the video how wrong they are. It's what the comment section's for, and that's what you
Or
want to
you
do.
could
Use it.
or you could just comment on is my lighting better than having that overhead light?
Mm. Or trying to sort of squint and see what Blu-rays are behind me. Whatever you want, go for it. Go nuts.
I think we should just pixelate some of those just to wind people up.
Hey, you're the one who edits it. You want to do that? Go ahead. But yeah, we'll see you in the next video. But please do click like and subscribe, and thank you for watching all the way to the end.
Bye.